Brace yourselves, chocolate prices are through the roof. Yes, you heard that right. The sweet treat that has been a comfort to many is now becoming a luxury item. Hold on to your hats, chocolate lovers. The days of affordable chocolate might be slipping away faster than you can say cocoa. The price of your favorite treat is skyrocketing. This isn't just a slight increase, it's a significant jump that's catching everyone off guard. We're talking double, triple, maybe even quadruple the price you're used to. Imagine walking into your local store and seeing your go-to chocolate bar priced like a gourmet delicacy. That's right, your daily chocolate fix is about to get a whole lot more expensive. The shock is real and it's hitting consumers hard. Remember those good old days when a chocolate bar was a cheap and cheerful indulgence? When you could grab one without a second thought? Well, those days might be over. Shelves are emptying out, and the once plentiful supply of chocolate is dwindling. The world is facing a cocoa crisis, and it's hitting your wallet right where it hurts. The root of the problem lies in the cocoa supply chain, but don't despair just yet. There are still ways to enjoy your favorite treat without breaking the bank. Let's take a deep dive into this bitter reality and see what's really going on. From the farms where cocoa is grown, to the factories where it's processed, every step of the journey is facing challenges. Climate change, political instability, and economic factors are all playing a role in this crisis. Cocoa farmers are struggling to keep up with demand as weather patterns become more unpredictable. Major cocoa-producing countries like Ivory Coast and Ghana are experiencing lower yields, which in turn drives up prices. The supply chain is under immense pressure. Factories are also feeling the pinch. The cost of processing cocoa into chocolate is rising, and these costs are being passed on to consumers. As a result, consumers are faced with tough choices. Do you splurge on your favorite chocolate bar, or find alternatives to satisfy your sweet tooth? Some are turning to artisanal and high-end chocolates which, while more expensive, offer a unique experience. Others are cutting back on their chocolate consumption altogether. There's also a growing trend of making chocolate treats at home. With a little creativity, you can still enjoy delicious chocolate without the hefty price tag. Some enthusiasts are even taking it a step further by growing their own cocoa plants. While this might not be feasible for everyone, it's a testament to the lengths people will go to for their beloved chocolate. So, while the future of chocolate might seem uncertain, there are still ways to enjoy it. Whether you're buying less, making your own, or exploring new options, the love for chocolate endures. After all, chocolate has a way of bringing people together no matter the price. It's a small luxury that many are willing to fight for, and its place in our hearts remains as strong as ever. As we navigate this cocoa crisis, let's remember the joy that chocolate brings and the resilience of those who produce it. Together, we can weather this storm and continue to savor the sweet moments in life. So, what exactly is this cocoa crisis everyone's talking about? It's a topic that's been buzzing around the industry, and for good reason. In a nutshell, it's a perfect storm of problems threatening the world's chocolate supply. Imagine a world without chocolate. It's almost unthinkable, right? But that's the grim reality we might be facing. We're talking about a combination of environmental disasters, economic instability, and social injustice. Climate change is wreaking havoc on cocoa plantations with unpredictable weather patterns, from severe droughts to devastating floods. It's a recipe for disaster, and the main ingredient is, you guessed it, cocoa beans. These beans are not just a commodity, they are the heart and soul of the chocolate industry. Without them, there's no chocolate. These precious beans, the lifeblood of the chocolate industry, are facing an unprecedented threat. Diseases like the cocoa swollen shoot virus are spreading, decimating crops and leaving farmers in despair. And if we don't do something about it, our chocolate dreams might melt away faster than a scoop of ice cream on a hot summer day. The impact would be felt worldwide, from the farmers who rely on cocoa for their livelihoods to the consumers who cherish their chocolate treats. But it's not all doom and gloom. There are efforts underway to combat this crisis. Scientists are working tirelessly to develop disease-resistant cocoa plants, and communities are coming together to find sustainable solutions. Supporting fair trade practices can also make a significant difference. By ensuring farmers receive fair wages and better working conditions, we can help create a more stable and resilient cocoa industry. So the next time you enjoy a piece of chocolate, remember the journey it took to get to you. From the cocoa plantations to your taste buds, it's a journey fraught with challenges, but also filled with hope and determination. Together, we can ensure that chocolate remains a beloved treat for generations to come. It's a recipe for success, but it requires all of us to play our part. Let's take a quick trip down memory lane. Cocoa has been around for centuries, dating back to the ancient Mayans and Aztecs. They believed cocoa beans were a gift from the gods, using them in religious ceremonies and even as a form of currency. Fast forward to today, and cocoa is the cornerstone of a multi-billion-dollar industry. From your grandma's chocolate chip cookies to fancy artisanal chocolate bars, cocoa is everywhere. But this delicious treat comes at a cost, and that cost is getting higher every day. One of the biggest culprits behind the cocoa crisis is our old friend, climate change. Cocoa trees are picky little things. They need a specific set of conditions to thrive, like steady rainfall, warm temperatures, and humid air. But guess what? Climate change is messing with all of that. We're talking about extreme weather events like droughts and floods, which can wipe out entire cocoa crops in an instant. Add to that the spread of devastating plant diseases, and you've got a recipe for agricultural disaster. Section 5, Supply and Demand, the economic roller coaster of chocolate. Now let's talk economics. It's a classic case of supply and demand. As the world's population grows, so does our insatiable appetite for chocolate. But here's the catch. The supply of cocoa beans simply can't keep up. Remember those environmental challenges we talked about? They're putting a serious dent in cocoa production. And when supply goes down and demand goes up, prices have nowhere to go but, you guessed it, up. Section 6, the human cost, cocoa farmers struggling to survive. Here's the bitter truth behind our sweet treat. The cocoa industry often relies on the hard work of impoverished farmers, many of whom live below the poverty line. They toil away in grueling conditions, often for very little pay. And as if that weren't enough, the rising cost of fertilizers, transportation, and other essential supplies is squeezing them even tighter. It's a vicious cycle of poverty and exploitation that we need to break. Section 7, Sweet Solutions, tackling the cocoa crisis head-on. So, what can we do about this sticky situation? Well, for starters, we need to support sustainable farming practices. By investing in things like drought-resistant cocoa varieties and better irrigation systems, we can help protect cocoa crops from the ravages of climate change. We also need to ensure that farmers receive a fair price for their beans. By promoting fair trade practices and empowering farmers through education and training, we can create a more just and equitable cocoa industry. Section 8, Beyond the Bean, exploring alternatives to cocoa. Let's get real for a second. What if, despite our best efforts, cocoa production continues to decline? Should we all just resign ourselves to a future without chocolate? Not so fast. Scientists and food engineers are hard at work exploring alternative ingredients that could mimic the taste and texture of chocolate. So who knows? Maybe one day, we'll be enjoying carob chip cookies or locust bean fudge. Section 9. A future for chocolate, our shared responsibility. The future of chocolate is in our hands. This delectable treat that we all love so much is more than just a sweet indulgence. It represents the hard work of countless individuals, from the farmers who cultivate the cocoa beans to the workers who process and package the final product. As consumers, we have the power to demand better, fairer, and more sustainable practices from the chocolate industry. Every time we make a purchase, we cast a vote for the kind of world we want to live in. By choosing chocolates that are ethically sourced and sustainably produced, we can help ensure that the people who bring us this joy are treated fairly and that the environment is protected. By making conscious choices about the chocolate we buy and supporting companies that prioritize ethical sourcing and production, we can all do our part to save this beloved treat. Look for certifications like Fair Trade, Rainforest Alliance, or other indicators of ethical practices. These labels signify that the chocolate was produced in a way that respects both people and the planet. So the next time you reach for that chocolate bar, remember that it's more than just a delicious indulgence. It's a symbol of our collective responsibility. Each bar of chocolate has a story behind it, a story that includes the hands that planted the cocoa trees, the communities that nurtured them, and the ecosystems that supported their growth. It's a product with a complex history, a fragile present, and a future that depends on all of us. The history of chocolate is rich and varied, spanning centuries and continents. From the ancient civilizations of Mesoamerica who first cultivated cocoa to the modern-day farmers who continue this tradition, chocolate has always been a global product. Let's make sure that future is sweet, By supporting sustainable and ethical chocolate, we can help ensure that future generations will be able to enjoy this treat just as we do. Together, we can make a difference. Let's cherish every bite, knowing that we are contributing to a better world for all.